where are you right now? You're done with work already, right? It's already past your regular work hours. Did something happen?
I'm sorry to worry you. Everything's fine, no worries. I just have more work to be done today. I'll be home after I finish this. Maybe about an hour or so.
What? Another hour? Why? What's taking you so long?
What do you mean, why? There's urgent work that needs to be done before tomorrow. I'll just finish this and I'll head straight home.
Why would you do such a thing? What are you going to do with dinner?
I'll be done after about an hour. But if you're starving already, just go ahead and eat before me.
Eat before you? What do you expect me to eat? There's nothing edible I can eat for dinner. And you call yourself engaged to me? Are you seriously thinking we can get married in this state?
What's wrong? What are you talking about? What do you mean by not being able to get married in this state?
First of all, you don't cook dinner. I can't eat dinner because there's nothing else to eat. Also, we are going to become husband and wife soon. I can't believe we're going to eat separately. This is unbelievable. Couples don't eat separately. Families don't eat separately, too.
I'm sorry about that. I'll try to go home as early as I can. I just told you that if you're starving already, you can eat ahead of me. Because I felt bad to make you wait. That's just what I wanted to say to you.
That's not what you're thinking of me means.
What are you saying?
All I want is to eat together with you. You don't understand me at all, James.
You're right, Alyssa. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, you know what? I just noticed that you didn't clean the bathroom.
I think I forgot to clean the bathroom yesterday. I'm sorry about that, too.
Are you fine with that? You're not bothered at all? That the bathroom is not clean? You think you can become a husband with that kind of behavior? You've been slacking off ever since we got engaged. How can I expect you to be a good father to our future children?
I'm sorry. I'll apologize for that, but why is it that I have to do all the chores at home?
Huh? What are you complaining about? That's a given, you know. My father used to do all the chores at home. My mother was also working, so Dad did most of the chores at home. That's why you need to do the same too, James. Just like my father used to.
But haven't you been helping me with household chores before we got engaged?
That's right, before we got engaged. But after our engagement, we live together, so things will be different from now on. I will be managing your payroll, and you will do all the chores at home from now on. If you won't do that, I can't marry you.
What? You won't marry me if I don't do all the chores? But I work too, you know. What kind of twisted thinking is that? So, are you saying that the reason why you helped with the household chores is it because we weren't living together?
That's right. Now you're starting to understand me. Now that we're living together, we can see what we'll be like when we get married, right? That's why I thought that. I might want you to become aware of these things. If you're going to be my husband, you need to become aware of your role as a husband. These things I told you about are common sense.
But you know what, Alyssa? We're different from your parents. We're not your parents. I think it would be better for us if we find our way of doing things. Don't you think so too?
What do you mean by that? I don't get where you're going at all.
There are more times when I arrive home later than you, and so I won't be able to cook dinner for us all the time. We can make it work by being more flexible with our thinking, How about the one who comes home first cooks dinner? If we don't do it like that, I think it will be difficult for me to cook all the time.
Are you telling me to do the household chores as well? When I'm also working just like you are? How could you ask me to do that? That's too much of you to ask from me.
Too much? What do you mean, too much?
My dad never asked my mom to do the chores at home. Not even once. You're unbelievable, James. Do you seriously want to marry me with that attitude?
Of course I want to marry you. That's the whole point of proposing to you. But frankly speaking, to do all the chores by myself without help from you is impossible. It's only been a week since we started living together, but never have I expected you to not do anything at all. That's why I'm starting to feel tired now.
How awful of you to say that! I never expected you to say such a horrible thing.
Also, if that's what you wanted to do all along, I wish you told me about it before we lived together. I wanted to discuss it with you and decide together too as a couple. But the moment we started living in together, you told me to do everything because you don't want to do house chores. Since you told me that after we started living together, I was of course shocked by that. It's just a normal reaction for someone to be surprised by something bad.
Ugh, James, you really are the worst.
What? Why do you think so?
Never would I have ever thought that you're that kind of man. What do you mean? Because by refusing to do the chores at home, you're implying that household chores are what women do. I never thought that's how you think of women as. You're too horrible. I feel like you've betrayed me.
What are you saying? Do you even hear yourself? I'm sorry, I don't understand you at all.
You're busy at work, so you're telling me to do the chores at home.
That's not it. You're not understanding me. What I was trying to tell you is that we need to cooperate and make this thing work.
My dad never said that to my mom, because he respected my mom's work.
But aren't your parents divorced?
Why would you say that? That's irrelevant from what we're talking about right now.
You're right. I'm sorry about that.
If you won't understand me, we'll break off our engagement.
What? You're breaking off our engagement for this minor reason?
That's right. But it's not a minor reason, and it means a lot to me.
Our wedding is next month, you know.
That's right. That's why we would be troubling a lot of people. I'm going to demand alimony too from you, you know. So brace yourself.
Are you seriously saying that? Are saying that if I don't agree to do all the household chores for the rest of my life, you're going to break off our engagement?
That's right. You heard me correctly. If you don't promise to do that, I'll be calling our wedding off and you won't be able to marry me. You don't get paid much and you don't look that good. But I chose you because you look like you're going to help me with household chores. If this is the case, I should have been better off marrying my ex-boyfriend.
So you didn't choose me for me, nor because you were attracted to me. You chose me based on whether I will do chores or not after we get married?
Of course that's a given. It's common sense. Did you think that you have good qualities, other than good at cooking and a good homemaker? I'm sorry to hit you with the truth, but you're not attractive at all. Other than those qualities I've mentioned earlier, the only reason why I agreed to marry you was because you looked like you would do the chores at home after we got married. No other reasons at all whatsoever.
You really are quite frank, aren't you?
That's why, if you can't do everything I said, I won't marry you. You should pay alimony and break off our engagement.
Understood, just as you said.
I'm glad to hear that you understand me. Come home as early as you can, okay? Of course, you should prioritize home instead of work, okay? My dad used to come home on time every night, so...
No, what I meant by understood is, I understood that we will break off our engagement.
Huh? What are you saying? That joke is not funny at all.
That's because it's not a joke.
What do you mean it's not a joke?
The house is under my name, so will you please leave the house? You still have some things left in the previous house, so it's not yet being cancelled, right? Because you said that you'll leave it that way until we get married. You'll probably be able to go back to that house now, right? I don't think it's too late yet.
Wait a minute. I don't follow what you're saying. What do you mean? Are you trying to kick me out?
If you want to stay in our current house, you can change it to your name. Because I will leave instead. But I was the one who covered all the expenses for moving in, and if you want to live there, Alyssa, then I would be glad if you would cover my expenses moving out. Because I will have to look for a different place, you know?
Are you saying that? Does that mean you're going to cancel our wedding?
I think that's for the best. Let me tell you frankly, I can't become like your father, Alyssa. I wanted us to search our path and live our own lives by our terms, but now that I heard the only reason why you agreed to marry me, I don't think we'll become happy even if we get married.
I might have said too much, but how horrible of you to break off our engagement instantaneously!
You're the one who asked for it, didn't you? You forced me to choose whether to do all the chores at home despite having a full-time job, or to break off our engagement and go our separate ways. You said that earlier, remember? I love you, Alyssa. I didn't want to break up with you, but I can't do this anymore. I don't feel like we can be a couple anymore. Also, I won't pay alimony to you. It's a problem we both have. So I want you to pay for half of the cancellation fee for the wedding ceremony.
What? Cancel the wedding? Are you seriously asking me to pay for the cancellation?
We won't be getting married, so of course we're not going to have a wedding ceremony. I mean, I paid for all the expenses for the wedding ceremony. So you should pay half of the cancellation fee to me.
Wait a minute. Everything is happening so fast. I can't keep up with it.
There's one more thing I wanted to tell you. You took my bank's cash card and credit card from my wallet, didn't you?
Huh? Well, I did take it, but it was only because I need to manage our finances. So I thought it's just normal to do that.
Stuff like that? Don't you think it's normal to ask me first?
But I didn't think of using it for my own, so...
I wasn't done! Don't cut me off like that. I was out to meet a client outside the office and I couldn't make the payment, so I ended up having to go back and forth. That's why I'm working overtime. I even inconvenienced my clients thanks to your doing.
I didn't know that.
I can't live peacefully with someone who does things like that without asking me first. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to leave the house? Or are you going to pay for my expenses moving out and stay there yourself?
I want to get married! I already told everyone that I'm getting married, and I'm thinking of resigning next month. So I was preparing for that, but...
What did you just say? I haven't heard about that too. So, does that mean that you're going to become a housewife, manage my money, and make me do all the chores at home?
If you say it like that, it might sound like that, but I also have things to do, you know? Like preparing to welcome a baby when I get pregnant, and stuff like that.
You decide everything too much without consulting me. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have broken off the engagement. I will contact your parents and tell them the news and why we've come to this decision.
What are you planning to tell them? Are you seriously going to do that?
Of course I will. I don't know yet if I will be able to demand it in the form of alimony, but as for the cancellation fee for the wedding ceremony, I will definitely ask you to cover half of it. But I'm actually glad that I found this out before we got married.
I want to get married! Please, James!
If you want to find someone willing to do the chores for you, then you should strive to become rich and hire someone to do the household chores for you. That would make things easier, I think. Stop forcing your ideals on others. If you're planning on quitting your job when you get married, and if you don't even plan on doing the household chores, I feel really relieved that I didn't marry you. Anyway, leave immediately, okay?
After that, Alyssa tried to contact James several times, but James didn't take any of her calls, nor replied to any of her messages. James reported to Alyssa's parents what their daughter has done, and explained everything that happened. Rumors say that Alyssa's mother apologized to James, that she might have failed in raising her daughter. Alyssa ended up quitting her job, as the cancellation fee for the wedding. Alyssa borrowed money from her parents and was somehow able to pay James. Rumors also say that she went back to her hometown and started looking for work there. After that, she attempted to look for a partner, but with her age being 35 years old and her demands of making the man do the household chores, she didn't get matched to anyone at all. If your ambitions are too high, higher than what you deserve, I guess you won't end up happy.
Hello, Isabel dear. What are you doing right now?
I'm at work right now, Mrs. Gunther. Is anything the matter?
What? You have work today too? Why's that?
Oh, what do you mean, why? I work most weekdays, you know, and it's not something I have control over. I've told you this numerous times before.
Oh, is that so? Didn't you tell me you work 4 days a week?
That's right, I've told you that I work most weekdays, Mrs. Gunther. More specifically, I work on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Did something happen?
Oh my, this is a pickle. I suppose that means you're not home at the moment?
No, I'm not at home right now. What's the matter?
I'm having a crisis, you see.
What? Could you please tell me what exactly happened? I understand you're having a crisis, but I need some details. Without them, I can't make a sound decision about what to do, you see. What happened?
I'm waiting in front of your house right now as we speak, and the door won't open. Don't tell me you locked the door.
What? But of course it's locked. No one's inside the house right now. Who wouldn't lock the door to their empty house? Always.
Is that so? Oh, this is bad.
What's bad, Mrs. Gunther?
Come now, can't you see I can't get inside the house?
Mrs. Gunther, for the last time, why did you come over so suddenly? I can't leave the door open for you unless you contacted me beforehand. Plus, I'm still at work right now, and the children won't be coming home for a while. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do.
When are you coming home?
I'm getting off work at 4 o'clock today, then I'll go grocery shopping before heading back, so it'll probably be around 5 o'clock when I get home. I also have to pick up the children from kindergarten.
Oh, gosh, seriously, what am I supposed to do then?
What do you mean, Mrs. Gunther? We simply can't let you inside today. How about going back home for now? No one will be coming home for a while.
Why would you say something like that?
Because it's the truth, isn't it? It's just too much to ask for is all.
You're making everything worse.
But like I suggested, why not just go home? The only other option is to kill time until 5 o'clock.
I think I should have my own key to the place, too. It's only a bother that I can't get inside the house. Oh, I'm sitting down at a nearby park. But honestly, why does December have to be so cold? I just know I'm going to catch a cold.
Well, in that case, how about you spend some time in a cafe or something?
Oh, I can't do that.
Well, why not?
I don't have my wallet with me.
Why don't you have your wallet? I'm telling you, everything will be better if you go back home.
I don't want to.
Mrs. Gunther, be honest with me here. Did you run away from home again?
Yes, I did. And I'm not going back to that house of lunatics. From now on, I'll be living with you and my son's family. I also sent a message to Trent, but I think he's working. He's not responding. So I sent you a message just in case. So could you call it a day here and come get me?
Excuse me? I can't do that. It's a part-time job. I get paid by the hour, so I don't want to leave early. And what exactly do you mean when you say you're going to live with us?
I don't want to live with that bastard anymore. It was a big mistake to marry someone like that. I hope we'll have a great life together.
I appreciate the sentiment, but our house is small. We can't possibly provide any space for you, Mrs. Gunther.
It'll be all right. I'm fine with the storage room you have. That's all I'll need. I have everything with me, and it isn't much at all. And that's why I can't go very far. So it would be a huge help if you'd come get me right now.
What? You even brought your things with you?
Yes, I did. It's different this time, I say.
You've said the same thing every time you ran away from home.
I'm completely serious this time. That's why I brought everything with me.
That still won't help you very much. The storage room you mentioned is now the children's room for Anna and Clint. I can't make more room. We really can't give you a place to stay. I'm sorry, but please ask someone else to let you stay.
You know I don't have anyone else. My other son's house is in another state altogether. And how do you propose a poor old woman without her wallet can make her way over there? I've nowhere else to go.
But we really can't do much.
Trent is my son, you know.
I mean, of course.
He's being dragged under your thumb, but he's in fact a very kind boy, you know. There's no way he's going to turn me away from his own house.
Perhaps he won't, but like I said, I'm still working. I can't help you right now. Nor can we give you a place to stay. We don't even have a couch for you to sleep on. We truly cannot help you, Mrs. Gunther.
My. You really are a stone-cold person, Isabel.
Perish the thought. I'm only being realistic, you see. Additionally, when you've run away from home in the past, you always wound up going home before dark, haven't you? Perhaps this is no different. You merely had a quarrel with Mr. Gunther, right?
It is different this time, I say. I'm not living another heartbeat with the likes of him. That piece of trash just ignores me, you see. He doesn't listen to what I tell him. I don't want to care for him anymore. You understand, right?
Sure, there may be times like that, but you are married to him. You've lived so well and so long with him up until now. I've no doubt you'll get through this.
And what do you know about what I'm going through? Trent's now a kind gentleman, thanks to me and my parenting. So you two never have quarrels now, do you?
We do, actually.
Do you really? I can only say you're always in the wrong then. Completely. No question about it.
Perhaps you think so. I, however, beg to differ.
In any case, could you come get me now, this minute? I can't wait like this any longer. It's cold and I'm going to catch a cold. Leaving a poor old woman like me outside in the chilling air. You must have something wrong with you, If only Trent would respond. I wouldn't be suffering now.
Trent's also at work, Mrs. Gunther, and so am I.
But your job's only part-time, right? Hurry up and get back here already. Your job won't mind covering for you for a few minutes now, will they?
No, I suppose they won't. All right, Mrs. Gunther, you win.
Hurry up now.
I'll ask my boss if I can leave early today.
Oh, I can't wait anymore. Can you shake a leg, please? I'm cold. Why are you so cruel to me?
Okay, I get it now. I understand. I'm leaving now. I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
Good evening, Isabel. I'm sorry about today.
No worries.
Who would have thought my husband would come to get me that quickly? I was surprised. But I suppose that helped you out too, right, Isabel? It sure helped me. It was really cold outside today. I was sure I would have frozen solid if he hadn't come so quickly.
Is that so?
I see you called me a few times, but I was in the car and I didn't notice. Is something the matter?
You've really done it this time, Mrs. Gunther.
What?
Do you realize how long I was searching for you in that park near my house under the cold, bleak sky?
You did? But why?
You pressured me with those messages of yours and you made me leave work early. I was worried sick that something had happened to you.
Is that so? I didn't think you'd go through so much for my sake. You're much nicer than I ever thought, Isabel. I blame my judgment. Trent's such a kind boy, but you're not that bad yourself, dear. My honest mistake.
And that was the last time.
What? What do you mean?
Don't message me about such BS ever again.
I'm so confused, dear.
It's a huge bother to me.
What is?
Don't what is me, Mrs. Gunther. I left my job early, just so that I could play along with your stupid game of Runaway, you know.
This was never a game, dear. I was serious.
It was a game, Mrs. Gunther. That's all it ever was. You just wanted to get Mr. Gunther's attention. Is that it?
That's not true at all.
What you're doing is too childish for your age. Talking to him while he was watching TV, making a mountain out of a molehill, when he never responded. He nearly didn't notice you. And yet you accuse him of neglecting you and then you run away. It's no different from what a child would do.
And how did you know about that? That's rude in any case, dear. How about you learn a bit from Trent's kind nature,
And about Trent, he called Mr. Gunther and told him everything.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Everyone agreed that in the event that you run away from home again, no one will come to your aid ever.
What?
If you run away again and then contact us about coming to take you home, we will only ignore you. And by the way, even Mr. Gunther won't come for you. I suggest you don't run away from home again, Mrs. Gunther. It's about time you grew up. In the end, Kayleen has been strictly told by her husband and by her son to never do that again. It was time she'd learned to tolerate other people's simple mistakes and not make things so dramatic. Kayleen got upset at this and went on to run away again, but just like the warnings, no matter who she contacted, be it Isabel, Trent, or her husband, no one came to her rescue. And she wound up finding her own way home after a few hours. Hopefully she understands now and becomes a bit more like a responsible adult.